Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. 'Cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand.
No, someone will come running, and I know
to take you home.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you reach up
I'm gonna send the bird, gonna drown him out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me.
I would also like to thank our district administration, our superintendent, Dr. Noelia, our building administration, and our Board of Education, who live by the motto, what's best, let's do what's best for kids. We're very fortunate to work with individuals who dedicate their time and energy to provide our students with the best possible educational experience. Before I address the class of 2018, I'd like to take a minute to thank West Leyden's faculty and staff. They have a passion for what they do and work tirelessly to connect with our students and engaging them in meaningful curriculum. We appreciate what they do each and every day, and we thank them for being here tonight to celebrate this wonderful event with you. In addition, I'd like to honor 3 special members of our school community who together have dedicated 83 years of service at Leyden and will be graduating with the class of 2018. Let's recognize 2 alumni. Mr. Genetius, he's right over there. He's our Chief School Business Official, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Investment Officer, and Treasurer. Yes, that is his title. And he's been at Leyden for 35 years, and he was a student at Leyden also. And also Mr. Conrad, who's right by, Mr. Genetius. He's been our athletic director and serving Leyden schools for the last 19 years. We're thankful for your contributions and we'll miss you immensely. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Steve Martin to stand. After 29 years of service as an English teacher and union president, he has been instrumental in maintaining the positive culture of Leyden. Thank you, Mr. Martin, for your dedication to our students, our faculty, and our staff. You'll be truly missed. Parents and guardians, this celebration has special meaning. It is support, dedication, patience, and love. Great kids. And I can only imagine how proud you are of the young men and women that they have become. Thank you for entrusting your sons and daughters to us for the last 4 years. It's truly a blessing. A round of applause for the parents, please. To the class of 2018, I found inspiration in an unusual place for me this year. For the last couple of months, really truly last few months, I have been reading a book, War and Peace. War and Peace set against the backdrop of the French invasion of Russia. By now you're wondering, what does that have to do with me, right? Yes. In this novel, many other themes, there are 4 themes that as I read and listened to the books on tape on my way to school, that resonated with me and was right as we were finishing out the year and we were thinking about all and reflecting on what was happening. I was thinking about you as you're getting close to graduation. The 4 themes that resonated with me were family, home, free will, and courage. Family. About family, Tolstoy portrays family life with brutal honesty. He's able to describe the emotions in such details and the actions in even more details that are present in most households. He's clear in his message that those who forge healthy and strong relationships in the family find emotional fulfillment and tend to create stronger roots and become more successful. Make sure that you continue strong family connections with your family, and when it is time for you to raise your own family, that you make them a priority. Home. Tolstoy made many attempts to show the reader that regardless of where and under what circumstances people find themselves, they're always only one step away from creating a home. He shows how soldiers, even in the battle, can engage in normal human behavior, setting homes such as breaking bread, offering hospitality to strangers, and many other things. Many of you will find a new home here shortly as you transition to the next phase of your life. Home is wherever you are, as long as you embrace it and make it your own. It will be different, it will feel different, but as long as you make it your own, you will be happy. Free will. Throughout the course of this novel, the author explores the themes of free will and predestination. The argument kind of was, do people make their own decisions, or are their lives already decided or predestined? In the book, Tolstoy had a quote that really kind of caught my attention and made me think about you. Each man lives for himself, uses his freedom to achieve his personal goals, and feels with his whole being that right now he can or cannot do such and such an action. But as soon as he does it, this action, committed at a certain moment in time, becomes irreversible and makes itself a property of history, in which is not free, but predestined significance. In short, I believe that he was saying that you're writing your own history, just as you are. You have written a few chapters already. Be proud of what you have accomplished and focus on the next few chapters of your life. Be courageous. Take risks, but make sure they're risks that are worth taking. Continue to be eager, dedicated, spirited, and this class is certainly spirited, responsible, humble, and focused. Continue to have the strength and courage to explore and surprise yourself. Make your own history. Class of 2018, on behalf of myself and Mr. Wagner, who's right here with you, we started together, and we wanted to make sure that you left with both of us here. It has been truly an honor and a privilege to have worked alongside of you for the last 4 years. Thank you. Now, I'd like to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Poliak, who will share his inspirational speech, The Road.
Good evening. On behalf of the school board, administration, faculty, and staff at Leyden, I'd like to welcome all of you to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2018. There are thousands of people in the room tonight, and each one of us has followed a different road through our lives. Some stretches are smooth, and some are filled with bumps and potholes. Sometimes the skies are clear, and other times we're driving in the rain or the snow. As a Leyden graduate, I want to remind you that your road continues after tonight. This isn't the end of your road. This is merely a bend in your road. You cannot yet see what lies around the corner, but I promise you that your families, your teachers, and administrators have prepared you for whatever you will encounter. As you travel your road, you will encounter people who need your help. Maybe they need a ride, maybe they've run out of gas, or maybe they even have a flat tire. Take the time to take care of the other people in your life. The road is more enjoyable when we take care of one another. I wish I had the time to tell you about the roads that all of our graduates have followed up to this point, but I would like to highlight 3 students from this outstanding graduating class. The first person I'd like to discuss this evening is Miguel Galvin. Miguel? If you're looking for the biggest smile at West Leyden High School, I believe you will find it on Miguel Galvin. In fact, at the start of my interview with Miguel, he complimented me on my shirt and tie. At the end of the interview, I asked him if he had anything else to add. His response was simply, "You did a very good job interviewing me today." Miguel is a member of our LIFE program, which serves students with special needs by providing extra academic, social, and vocational supports. He lives in North Lake with his parents, his 2 brothers, his uncle, and his 2 cousins. Miguel told me that he appreciates all that his parents do for him every day. Miguel's father owns a landscaping company, and that has had a huge influence on Miguel. He loves helping cut the grass and work in the yard at home. He's a member of the gardening club at school. He loves reading books about different types of plants, and one of Miguel's favorite things to do is to ride along with his dad when he's plowing snow in the winter. I asked Miguel about the teachers he's had over the years. He first told me about Mr. Van Fleet at Anger School. He said Mr. Van Fleet was a great teacher who spent a lot of time helping him get ready to attend high school. At Leyden, he told me about Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Abishar. Mr. Mitchell helped him to learn to count by 5s and 10s, how to use money to pay for items, how to advocate for himself, and how to be a mature, grown-up young man. In addition to sponsoring the garden club, he said that Mr. Abishar has helped him prepare for his future and shown him how to be a good employee, how to complete a job task, listen to his boss, and work with his coworkers. All of us have challenges to overcome in life. Miguel's just happened to be a little different than most of us. He has learned how to use the features of his wheelchair to help him stand up. He told me this allows him to stretch his legs and stand up nice and tall. Miguel's occupational therapist, Miss Lumpson, has been working with him since kindergarten at Anger School. With her help, he has learned how to drive his own wheelchair, and he's been working on feeding himself. He told me he has made a lot of progress in these areas and more. When I spoke to Miguel's teachers, the comments were almost identical about his personality and how Miguel serves as one of the biggest supporters of his classmates. Mrs. Monco taught Miguel for the past 4 years. She says, "Something I love about Miguel is that he is everyone's biggest cheerleader. He takes the time when his peers are struggling, either physically or academically, to give them words of encouragement." Mr. Abishar says Miguel is one of the most respectful, friendly, and caring students I've ever had the pleasure to teach in all my years at Leyden. When other students are called on in class, Miguel is always there with words of encouragement, saying, "You can do it." He continued saying, "Students come and go over the years, all having their own impact on our lives and leaving lasting memories. But when a student like Miguel says to you, 'Mr. A, you are my hero,' what can you say?" Mr. Abishar would like to say, "Thank you, Miguel, but you are my hero." When I asked Miguel about these comments from his teachers, his response was simple. He said, "I just want other people to be happy." Miguel was proud to tell me about some of the awards and recognitions he has received during his time at Leyden. During his sophomore year, he was named a Student of the Month. In his junior year, he earned a Fern Award. And in addition to graduating this year, Miguel also won a gold medal in the Special Olympics in the wheelchair cone event. He's participated in the Best Buddies program and played on the Special Olympics basketball team at Leyden. So what's next for Miguel? He's looking forward to swimming in his pool this summer and participating in Special Olympics golf. He will join Leyden's transition program next year. There, he will continue to work on life skills, learn how to be as independent as possible, and I'm sure keep on supporting everyone around him with his smile and his positive comments. He hopes one day to be employed as a greeter at a business. I, for one, would happily shop wherever Miguel is greeting just to see that smile and receive a confidence boost from his compliments. Congratulations and best of luck to you, Miguel. Next, I'd like to introduce Gillian Jeske. Gillian? Gillian lives in Melrose Park in Leyden Township. She has 2 older brothers, Mark and Matt, and 1 older sister, Jenny, who all graduated from Leyden. Her parents are divorced and Gillian lives with her mother. Gillian described her mother as her best friend, saying, "I tell her everything." Later in our conversation, no offense to Mom, Gillian told me she is more best friends with her older sister. And even though Jenny has moved out of the house, she and Gillian FaceTime each other and visit often. Having two best friends in the family is a good situation to be in. When Gillian was 4 years old, her parents received devastating news about her. Doctors diagnosed Gillian with acute lymphocytic leukemia. She told me that basically she didn't have enough white blood cells to fight off infections. The next 3 years were filled with doctors and hospitals and chemotherapy. She was hospitalized for an entire month and then was in and out of the hospital over the next 3 years. By the time Gillian entered 3rd grade at Roy School, her cancer was fully in remission. However, the chemotherapy had done significant damage. The combination of 6 different medications caused her to forget how to walk, how to read, and how to write. To this day, she deals with a reading disorder and a math disorder. She began receiving occupational therapy to help her relearn simple tasks like how to hold a pencil. As Gillian moved forward to Mannheim Middle School, she was placed in special education classes for reading and math. She recalls the benefit of those smaller classes and the care and attention her teachers provided to help her find academic success. Even when she came to Leyden for her freshman year, Gillian would still go back to Mannheim Middle School for help in that time of transition. She started her Leyden career in special education courses as well. She recalls being told in 8th grade that she was reading at a 6th grade level. She took that as a challenge when she came to Leyden. After her first semester, she had a near perfect grade in her reading course. So the staff moved her into a regular education course, and she loved the new opportunity. In fact, reading has become a passion for Gillian. Whether in print or on her Kindle, Gillian now reads approximately 1 book every day. She told me, "I have to work harder to catch up to my classmates, so I just ask for a lot of help. You're just human if you ask for help." As Gillian has worked her way through Leyden, she's also been moved out of special education math classes this past year as well. Gillian's academic progress is outstanding, but I was even more impressed with her heart. From age 5 to age 13, Gillian attended a camp for cancer survivors called TLC Camp. Her brother Mark would also attend along with her, and she said it really helped the two of them bond and grow closer. Now, they have been serving as volunteer counselors in that program for the past 5 years. Mark takes time off work, and the two of them are giving back to children and families going through the same struggles their family faced years ago. That heart for service has translated into her time at Leyden, too. While volunteering with the Interact Club, Gillian has helped pack meals for Feed My Starving Children, participated in efforts to feed the homeless, and she attended the Rotary Youth Leadership Retreat. She'd like to thank Mr. Carrera, who was her English teacher sophomore and senior years. She said he would help her until she got things correct, and he encouraged her to become a better writer. She even got to go to Whitewater College and read her creative writing in front of professors there. She'd also like to give a huge thank you to Mrs. Thomas for encouraging her to get into the Leyden Fashion Club. Gillian is an aide for her now, and she looks back at the 4 fashion shows she has been in as one of the ways she worked to overcome her shyness. It's been a dream of Gillian's to attend a 4-year college, just like her brother Matt. After being accepted at Northern Illinois University, Indiana University, University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, and the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Gillian has chosen to attend Eastern Illinois University. She plans to major in pediatric nursing, which shouldn't be a surprise after all the help and support she received from nurses when she was younger. In reflecting back on her journey, Gillian told me, "Scars that are mental and physical will fade, but they'll never be gone. However, they don't define who I am." Well, Gillian, who you are is an amazing young woman. We are proud of what you have accomplished and excited for what comes next. Congratulations. And finally today, I'd like to introduce Noelia Talavera. Noelia? Over the past 5 years, I've had the honor and pleasure to interview and feature 30 different graduates from East and West Leyden. This is the first time that one of those students has only attended Leyden for 1 year. I believe that when you learn a little bit more about Noelia, you'll understand why. She was born in California, and life was not particularly easy right from the start. She's only met her father once when she was around 6 years old. She lived with her mother, her half-sister, and her grandmother, but drugs and violence were a significant issue in her family. In fact, several of her uncles ended up in prison. All of those issues came to a head in the summer of 2010, when Noelia and her half-sister were taken from their home and placed into foster care. She told me that she lived with a very nice family that summer, and that her mother eventually got back custody of her and her half-sister. At that point, her family moved to Illinois, and Noelia remembers seeing snow for the very first time that year. She said it was like a huge white blanket. Between 5th and 9th grades, Noelia and her family lived in Bellwood, Maywood, Hillside, and Stone Park. She attended Proviso West for freshman year before the family moved once again, this time to Indiana. That's where Noelia spent her sophomore and junior years. After all that she'd been through, Noelia was contemplating dropping out of school during her sophomore year. She went back to California and visited her grandmother. Because of that visit, she decided that she wanted to make her grandmother proud, and she committed to being successful, no matter what that might take. During her junior year, Noelia made the decision to join the United States National Guard. She completed her basic training at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. She used the $3,000 for completing basic training and her new stipend of $130 per month to set out on her own. With some help from her aunt, she started renting an apartment and living on her own. Her stipend from the National Guard does not cover her costs, so Noelia works Monday through Friday at UPS, and she works weekends at McDonald's. Without a car, she uses public transportation to get back and forth to work. The same problem exists for Noelia to get to and from school every day. She told me about all the help she's received from her counselor, Ms. Ortega, and her assistant principal, Mr. Sharos. She said Ms. Ortega is the best counselor she's ever had, and she's had a bunch of them. Mr. Sharos found some state funding to help pay for taxi rides to make sure Noelia gets to and from school every day. She also noted the helpfulness of the attendants and security staff at West Leyden. She said they have done so much for her this year. I've yet to mention that in spite of her work schedule and her living arrangements, Noelia was a member of the girls' soccer team at Leyden. I asked her about how Leyden compares with the other schools she's attended in California, Illinois, and Indiana. She said Leyden has been the best of them all, and she wishes she could have been here all 4 years. She smiled when talking about school spirit, the availability of technology and supports, and an amazing group of teachers that care for her and constantly push her to do better. Specifically, she told me about Mr. Hayworth and Mr. Vrulius. Mr. Hayworth has instilled in her the 6 P's to be successful in life and work: to be punctual, polite, positive, prepared, present, and productive. As for Miss S., she has helped Noelia with her academics and emotional issues. She checks on her, and she's taught her to stand her ground and advocate for herself. Ms. Trevulius also helped her figure out how to file her income taxes for the first time this year. On July 26th, Noelia reports to Fort Lee in West Virginia for 6 to 9 weeks of advanced individual training as a cook for the military. Following that training, she has 2 months of drills and then the National Guard will fund her college education. She's planning to earn an associate's degree and become a dental hygienist. From a rocky start, Noelia is on a firm path for a successful future. I would like to note that Noelia's mother and stepfather made the trip here tonight from Indiana, and that her grandmother and aunt traveled in from California. Thank you for being here, and I can only imagine how proud you are of the young woman that Noelia has become. Noelia, you are already living a more adult life than most adults I know. Thank you for your service to our country, and thank you for being an inspiration to all of us at Leyden. We wish you all the best as you move on to the next phase of your life. Congratulations. Speaking on behalf of all of us at Leyden, to all of our graduates, it's been an honor to be part of your journey. Enjoy the road you are on. When you come to an intersection and you need to turn one way or the other, make the right choices. Keep your focus on your ultimate destination, whatever that might be. We are so proud of all of you today. We wish you nothing but the best in your lives. And remember, no matter where you go and no matter what you do, you will always be a Leyden Eagle. Thank you.
Graduation is a special day because it's just kind of a culmination of all the past 4 years, all the stress, all the things that have gone into getting to this day, and now that all gets to get pushed aside and we all get to just celebrate with family and friends.
I love watching the freshmen come in, not knowing where to go in the hallways, and then 4 years later seeing them confidently ready to take on their next journey in life.
Signifies the ending of hopefully a period that you've had fun, that you've grown, that you've learned, and then the beginning of some new opportunities and new challenges.
What I remember most about the class of 2018 is when I first came to Leyden, I was completely new to the school and I knew nothing about the school or anything, and they were the kids that always were there to help me, the most helpful, the most welcoming kids at the school.
I had many of the students in Access as freshmen, and then throughout the years in Bio and AP Bio, and what I'm most impressed with and what I'm most proud of is their growth, how much they've changed as people, how much they've contributed, and how much fun they've had, and we're really going to miss them next year.
My advice for the graduates of West Leyden would be to be confident in who they are, to be willing to put themselves out there and to try new things and get to know what really makes them happy in life. Take chances, take risks, and fulfill your dreams, and never lose focus of those dreams for the rest of your life. Travel a lot. Go places, experience unique cultures, and broaden your horizons.
I think the advice that I would have for graduates is to remember all the things that made their experience at Leyden High School great, the relationships they made, the things that they learned, and be able to take those with them wherever they happen to go.
Follow whatever dreams you have with integrity and passion, and know that you're never stuck. Your future is truly yours to create.
For sure, develop a schedule and make sure you work out first thing in the morning. But overall, meet new people, have fun, see new places, and you'll be good.
Congratulations to the class of 2018. We wish you all the best, and remember, you are an eagle and will always be an eagle. So take your Leyden pride with you and let it shine.
Work hard, dream hard, and make sure you go for everything you want in your life. You have a lot of ability, you have a lot of talent, and I'm sure you'll accomplish great things. But remember, always be kind to all of those around you. Good luck forever. Mr. Wagner.
Presenting our commencement addresses are two outstanding top 10 students, Natalie Agoncillo followed by Savannah Novencito.
Good evening. I would like to welcome parents, families, teachers, staff, and administration, and thank all of you for celebrating this proud moment with the class of 2018. The past 4 years have been filled with highs and lows, successes and failures, but most of all, growth. Whether it was becoming a part of a new friend group, developing a passion for a sport, or discovering an interest in art, all of us are ending our high school careers having learned something new about ourselves. A quote that I feel encompasses what we have obtained during our time at Leyden is given by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. He says, "There are only 2 lasting bequests we can hope to give our children. One of these is roots, the other wings." Throughout our time at Leyden, and even earlier in our lives, we have formed roots tethering us to the people we love. We have experienced joy, defeat, and every emotion in between, strengthening our relationships with others and our confidence in ourselves. The time we have spent at Leyden has pushed us to change some of our beliefs, solidify others, and form some new ones. I'm confident that my classmates and I are leaving high school with wings built to carry us above the upcoming mountains and valleys. The roots we have formed in this community will continue to shape us long after we spread our wings. Just like the rest of my peers, I would not be standing here today if not for the many people who have supported and guided me from day one. On behalf of the graduating class, I would like to thank all the Leyden teachers and staff for putting up with us, and we hope you have enjoyed our time together as much as we have. You've given us such high expectations for our future mentors who will never replace your spot in our hearts. Thank you to all my teachers and coaches who have seen me at my best and my worst. You all have made a lasting impact on me and greatly influenced the value I place on education. And to the 2 people at Leyden who have made the biggest impact on me, Dr. Ruflo and Zitska. Thank you for the confidence you've had in me and the constructive criticism and much-needed encouragement you have never failed to give me. My experience at Leyden would not have been the same without you. And finally, thank you to my parents, my rocks, my constant support system, and my inspirations. You have stood by me and provided anything I needed when it would have been much easier to let me navigate through challenges by myself. You always have been and always will be the people I look up to and hope to make proud. To my fellow classmates, I would like to share with you a few words from Dr. Seuss. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. While this is goodbye to our high school days, we have so many things to look forward to. It has been a memorable 4 years, and there isn't anyone I would have wanted to spend them with. So remember your roots and make use of your wings. I cannot wait to see what each of us will accomplish and to hear all the stories we'll tell each other one day. Thank you.
Good evening, my fellow students, teachers, staff, administration, parents, and family. It is such an honor to stand before all of you on such a monumental day in our lives. When recalling the first time he met his friends, Winnie the Pooh said, "As soon as I saw you, I knew an adventure was going to happen." Walking into school the first day of freshman year, I remember feeling completely lost and out of place. I didn't know what to expect from high school, and I didn't know where to start. I wasn't prepared for the adventure that was about to take place. Now it's graduation day, and nearly 4 years have passed by in the blink of an eye. Throughout the years, we've grown to learn more about not only each other, but about ourselves. We've made new friends, tried new things, experienced many firsts, and found little bits of ourselves along the way. Though there's still so much for us to experience, to think that we've gone through so many adventures in the span of 4 years is unbelievable. While many of us have grown up with one another, watching our friends transition from tiny first graders to awkward teenagers, the friendships and relationships I've had the pleasure of creating these past 4 years are some that fundamentally changed my life. I hope that we all leave high school not only as friends, but as a family. As we begin to part ways and head in separate directions, I think it's important for us to remember where we came from and who shaped us. I'm extremely grateful for the support I've received here at Leyden and the endless wisdom and life experience shared by my teachers. I'm especially thankful for Mr. Bailey, Mr. Pazal, Miss Macumber, Miss Helsher, Dr. Ruffalo, and Mademoiselle, who have impacted me greatly by completely changing the way I approached my life, both academically and personally. Your passion and selflessness have inspired me and will follow me for a lifetime. Thank you for instilling a driving passion and curiosity in me. Even more so, I am extremely grateful for all of you. I'm proud to be able to call myself part of such a kind, honest, and powerful group of students. I truly believe the defining characteristic of our class and the legacy we will leave behind is our capacity to love and support one another. I hope we will be remembered as the class who collectively empowered and believed in one another, and that we've set an example for future generations of Leyden students to follow. Because of our enthusiasm, we are able to look fondly back on Junior Olympics, sporting events, and other school spirit events, which remind us of how impactful and powerful a couple hundred kids can be. Senior year has been bittersweet. We've been faced with difficult decisions, and even after the hard work, voluntary procrastination, and sleepless nights, we have yet another chapter in our lives to write for ourselves. As we approach new beginnings, I know many of us feel an overwhelming sense of uncertainty. You may see your future as unpredictable or completely out of your hands. However, uncertainty gives us a chance to open new doors for ourselves. There's so much world for us to discover, and I hope you take every chance you get to explore it. I hope that you continue to search for yourself and give yourself the opportunity to grow. I hope that whatever path you choose to take, you walk it confidently and proudly. I hope you fight for your dreams in pursuit of your own happiness. I'm rooting for you, and so is everyone here. You have a whole family here at Leyden, patiently waiting to see you thrive. I hate to borrow yet another quote from the wise Winnie the Pooh, but it's best said in his words. How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. Though we may say goodbye now, I do hope that this isn't forever. Thank you, and I wish you all the best of luck on your next great adventure.
The chamber singers will now perform a Leyden graduation tradition, This Day, under the direction of Miss Stacy Cunningham.
Once it has
For the presentation of the class of 2018 to the Board of Education, our principal, Dr. Tatiana Bonuma.
Mr. Ignofo, it is with great pleasure that I assure you that the members of the class of 2018 seated before us have met the requirements established by the Board of Education and are now eligible to receive diplomas. For the acceptance of the class by the President of the Board of Education, please welcome Mr. Greg Ignofo.
Thank you. It is an honor and a privilege for me to be here tonight. This is an exciting time in the Leyden family as we celebrate another milestone in the lives of these fine young men and women, Leyden's newest alumni. And at Leyden, we are a family. We use the word family. The use of the word family has real meaning and showcases our mutual respect for each other. It is that culture of how we interact with each other and watch out for each other. We celebrate in each other's accomplishments, provide encouragement and reassurance in time of failure, and support and understanding during difficult times. In the Leyden family, it doesn't matter where you come from, your background, or what your role is, whether student, staff, or community member. We are all in it together. I am so very proud to be part of the Leyden family and this magical place called Leyden High School. In one way or another, everyone in this room is part of the Leyden family, and we are all here tonight to celebrate with these graduates. And graduates, tonight is also a time to acknowledge all those who have helped you along the way and to thank them for their commitment to you. Some who have been alongside you since birth, some that you've come to know at Leyden, and some you have never met. But each has played an essential role in your lives and are part of our Leyden family. Leyden encourages our students to dream the dream and provides them with the tools and opportunity to live the dream. But there are only a few who have stood up and defended the dream. Would all those here who have worn our country's uniform please stand so that we may have the opportunity to thank you for your service. Our Army, Marines, Navy, Coast Guard, and Air Force veterans, please stand. Noelia, that means you too. Excellent. Veterans, please remain standing, if you will, please. Also, everyone, just to remember that Monday, May 28th, is Memorial Day, a day to remember those who have given their lives in the defense of freedom, including several of our own alumni. And now, with our veterans standing, I would like our first responders to present themselves. Will all of our first responders, our police, fire, EMS, please join our veterans. Please stand. And would you all still remain standing, because there is one more special group that needs to join you that so often go unrecognized. That is those who also serve your family members. Would the families of these veterans and first responders please stand and join them? All the family members of the veterans. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our hometown heroes, and we thank them. Thank you. Last August, Marco Chaidas from West and Leila Sedikovic from East were sworn in as Leyden High School's student board members. Marco, where are you? Would you please stand, Marco? You're in here somewhere. Oh, there's Marco. Through their participation at school events, attendance at board meetings, state school board conference, and in the many other commitments, Marco and Leila have brought your voice to the highest level of decision making. When the Board of Education needs to make a decision about what's best for kids, we turn to Marco. Graduates, the rest of the Leyden family that we need to acknowledge have one single common purpose, and that is to provide you with the best possible high school education with an abundance of quality experiences for you to grow physically, academically, and emotionally. And if it wasn't for you, the student, Leyden High School simply would not exist. And we believe that Leyden High School provides the best possible education for our students with a wide variety of opportunities, and that each individual student has unique talents, and those unique talents need to be identified, nurtured, and honed. Although they are small in numbers, their impact is immense. Leyden High School enjoys the best team of administrators in any school district anywhere. Administrators, thank you for your vision, passion, and your consistent vigil over our most precious assets, our kids. Thank you, administrators.